What's up and welcome back to Cleats to Whistle podcast. I am Brad Valdez and we are here at Ballard High School for the GLFCA All-Star Game. I have the honor and privilege, man, to talk to Calumet Sprint Football University, or is
Calumet College of St. Joseph Sprint Football.
Oh, okay. Now, this is just a little backstory. I hate taking all this time, but this is Jennings Sr. and this is Jay Novak, the head coach. Okay, he's the assistant. I actually met Zach on a Zoom call and he was trying to push for sprint football just so everybody could get to know about it. You know, Zach's actually a really good Twitter follow, man. really good Twitter follow. Family guy, football guy. There you go. And it looks like he has a great support system at home.
Yeah, I got my wife's awesome, man. She does a lot, and I'm definitely batting outside my weight class.
And it was crazy because when you were on that little Zoom call, you were actually on a different staff. Yeah. We'll get into that. You know what I mean. And man, and also he's an Army vet, man.
Yeah.
So thank you for your service, man. And Jay's the head coach. We just met today, man.
Yes, sir.
And it's an honor to have you on, man. For real.
Absolute honor to be down here. To be honest with you, we do get some radio coverage up there in the region where we're at, but to be down here, down south of Kentucky, where, as I'll tell him, Louisville's like a second home to me. I love it. There's only one city in Kentucky. I tell them all the time it's Louisville because I've always had great times.
Hey, it's a good time city, man. So, man, but like I say, man, we're just gonna get you guys to talk about your personal self. You know, get to know you on a personal level. So, with that being said, man, we all have a past, right? Man, show some love to some of your mentors.
Man, it's funny you say that because daily I think I start to have an appreciation for others that were in my life, you know, and it starts with my mom and my dad. You know, they've really helped kind of shape me and who I am. And starting with my football career out in Whiting, Indiana, was one of the great coaches high school coaches in Indiana, Jeff Kane, and he was at Whiting High School, gave me my first start. Moved on to over to East Chicago, where Stacy Adams, who was a Valparaiso University head coach at that time, he was a head coach at East Chicago Central, brought me on there. Shauna Finley, principal I worked with at East Chicago as a dean of students there for 13 years, and had a great experience there. Chris Skinner from Andrean, he's a private school out there. We were able to win a state title together. A lot of great family stuff. Again, you take a little bit from everybody. I can go on and on and on.
Yeah,
and
exactly,
me,
Coach.
We could, Coach Rodriguez from Portage. I mean, I could just keep going on and on. But again, I think people come in your life and they help shape you, and you don't realize it sometimes until after the fact, and you're like, man, okay, I really learned about relationship building from Coach Adams, or you know what I mean. So, I could ramble on, but I'm passionate about the people that are in my life.
I love it, man, and that's what it is. It's about giving back and actually just showing them love, man. Go ahead and Zach, go ahead and talk about your mentors, man.
So one, him and him were going back and forth yesterday. He's a Navy veteran. Greg Jones, he coaches up in Ohio now. He was one of the position coaches when I was at Holmes High School up in Covington, Kentucky when I was younger. And that's a relationship that really transcended football. Like I said, when we talk almost every day, when I got my first teaching contract, I called him, got my first coaching gig, called him. So there's only really one day out of the year we don't talk, 1 week out of the year, and that was this past week. But, that's a relationship that, again, really transcended. He is, like I said, Navy veteran. I ended up joining the Army. He was in law enforcement. I was in law enforcement for a short time. He didn't get into teaching until his 30s. I didn't get into late 20s, early 30s. So the stuff that he was able to get across to me, everything that I give is not me. It's from him. Everything I do is just from him. So Greg Jones, and then my last real high school stop was at Grant County, Kentucky. Grant County High School here in Kentucky, and Jacob Morris, when he brought me on, when I left Holmes because I was looking to grow. I was coached where I'm from, but I was looking to branch out and grow a little bit. Yeah. And Jacob and I sat down, and the first conversation we had was, he said, "What do you want to do?" I was like, "Well, I want to come down here and coach football." He goes, "No, 5 years. Where do you want to be?" "Well, I want to coach college football." "Great, you're in charge of all the recruiting." And I kind of was like, "I have no idea what I'm doing, but I'll figure it out." So those are really two people that come to mind that stick out right away. David Trosfer, who's now at Connor High School, he was a good role model when I was growing up. Former youth minister William Class. Those guys are the ones that really kind of helped steer me in the direction that I went.
I love it, man. And when I said Family Guy, you know what I mean? I follow your Twitter, man. I you know what I mean? I like your posts. I just like, you know what I mean? I like you get to know your personality a little bit more, and just shout out your wife, man.
She puts up with a lot, man. I love you, Rebecca. But she does an incredible job with our kids. She's just a rock star, and definitely would not be doing what I'm doing if it wasn't for her. I don't have enough time in the world to speak about her, man. It's just she does incredible. She was, really one of the team moms in Grant County. She always fed the team. As we've transitioned, it's been kind of a weird year, but she's definitely going to be more involved with the program next year as far as, the things that we do with our guys, because she wants to be that football mom. She loves football. She's a Bengals fan, so she's watching the Bengals play the Colts here shortly. She's incredible. She really is.
Nice. I love it, man. And you growing up in Indiana, man, and how was that Indiana ball, man? How was that?
So that's 25-year Indiana high school football coach before I took this job. Multiple years as an assistant, 8 years as a head coach, been a part of programs that, were, one team and, one win to, maybe 3 wins, then all of a sudden conference championship, first time in school history, which is fun. I go back home to East Chicago and I see that banner up there, and, it's kind of nice that we were able to do that for first time in school history. So those type of things, and then being able to win the ultimate state championship, and really with a team that I I can't say I didn't like them, but it was one of those that were our rival. And I ended up joining the staff and really found out how special that family was at Andrean. And to still be we're still an extended part of that. And but as far as the ball goes there, I mean, there's a lot of great players in the region. In fact, over 60% of our rosters from the region. Region being basically Northwest Indiana, the 219 area code, I guess, which is something totally different that we that we kind of that's kind of our slogan as we go. But that's but it's just a group of basically about 8 to 10 towns and cities that is in the area, but they call that the region. But there's some great ball out there. There's a lot of great players, and again to kind of compare it to other states. Now that I've been out here, there's a lot of great ball in a lot of states.
Yeah, exactly.
The state of Kentucky, there's a lot of ball players.
Yes. And now let's get into you guys on a personal level. You know what I mean? You like the number. You played ball. Did the number you wear have a meaning?
Yes. Well, actually, the number I got. Okay, check this out. I wanted to be.
It's always sometimes it happens that way, right?
I wanted to be 77 so bad, and I ended up with the number 79. And the worst part about it all was, I was a sophomore. Okay, so I had no rights. Yeah, you know how this goes. I had to earn my rights, earn my keep there, and. I wanted 77. The coach said, no, you're going to be 79, and Josh is going to be 79 too. So there's 2 77s on this team, and they're like, or 79s, I'm sorry, 2 79s on the team, and it's like, well, man, my 79A, 79B, it just didn't feel right, So to this day, I still wanted to be 77, but by junior year, it turned into 79, and to be honest with you, that number didn't really have any, until like later on in life. It's weird how numbers come into your life in different situations, and I'm like, man, 79. But anyways, it was an honor to wear it. In fact, I tell the guys on our team, whoever wears 79 better be the toughest, And,
hey, there we go. There we go.
Our center's pretty tough. So Tristan Dideker from Iowa. We get these linemen from Iowa, and he's a tough dude, and I'm proud to see him wear that thing.
Nice. And what about you, Coach?
So that just kind of happened. I wanted to wear 42 because I was in that era coming out of high school where it was the defensive end was turning into more of a Clay Matthews stand-up kind of guy.
Okay.
My dad grew up in Arizona, in Tempe, Arizona, or right outside Tempe, Arizona, because my grandfather was on the Fiesta Bowl committee. So, one of my personal heroes was Pat Tillman. When he passed away in 2004, his college number was 42. Well, freshman coming in, I wasn't getting 42. So I ended up with 74 because I'm a Packers fan, and Aaron Campman at the time was my favorite defensive player. So that's kind of how 74 came. I won at 42. Nothing against Campman, but, I wanted to wear 4-2, but, that's how 74 came to be.
There we go. And you play college ball. Did you play college ball?
I did not, no.
Oh, okay. No. So I didn't play college ball, but man, you always have those memories, man. What's a memory that you want to just share, man? Playing football.
Man, more than anything, I remember goofing off in the weight room. Friday nights was a blast, but it happened so quick. Summer camp happened so quick. One of the funniest memories is when David Trosfers went to kick a field goal, and it just rained and slipped and slid about 10 yards down the field and went into a storm drain. But I just remember having a lot of fun in the weight room with the guys. I don't think you realize that when you're playing, how much time you spend in the weight room and how important that is. And going back to Army-Navy yesterday, I told him after Army made that goal line stand that didn't happen in that moment. That happened in the weight room.
Yep.
So most of my fun memories were the weight room because you get to go in there, you get to run around, scream, yell, and no one judges you for it. You just, so I remember more than anything having fun in the weight room.
There we go. Coach, share your memory, man.
The biggest thing is the impression from my coaches, believe it or not. Just making, building me up. They break you down and, get you right and then build you back up and just having that confidence in the mirror. And that's what we work on daily here at Calumet with our guys. We don't want our guys wearing hoods and hiding themselves. We want them, take your hood off, your shoulders back, look in the mirror, be confident, and those were kind of the things that I always remember. Of course, the memories, the working with your brothers, the ups, the downs, and you see each other at a restaurant or whatever the case, and you just kind of give that nod or, buy them a drink or something like that.
Yes, sir.
It's a brotherhood forever.
Yep. So. And what was the initial thing that attracted you to football? Like the one, I want to coach football. You have great mentors. You know what I mean? Is that who stamped it for you?
I'll be honest, I'm pretty juiced right now looking in those kids' eyes right before they're ready to get in the battle, man. And, I got the goosebumps coming here. that's part of it. Again, being a part of a brotherhood, we are really we're focused on that and staying together inside, on the field, off the field, just taking care of each other. And, man, I don't know. That's kind of why my why is, help these guys level up and be the best versions of themselves, with that degree.
Love it, man. Love it. And what about you? What got you into that?
Well, I actually, football, I was kind of born with a football in my hand, but growing up, I wanted to play basketball more. This is Kentucky, so the ball's, round. But I was 13 years old playing Pee-wee football. I was in the 8th grade, and I was I don't want to play football anymore. I want to focus on basketball. My Pee-wee coach at the time, Brian Warner, pulled me to the side. He goes, son, listen, you're not playing basketball. You're 5'11", 6 foot tall. You're probably not going to get any bigger. You're a power forward now because you got studs for feet and you can't move very well. So, and then once I was like, yeah, you're probably right. But I got to hit people in football and it was frowned upon in basketball. So I had a lot of fun doing that.
There you go.
So that, yeah, that's kind of how that happened.
And you just want to give back to these kids, right?
Yeah. That's how I got into Greg Jones is how I got into coaching. I spent a lot of time my sophomore year in high school with him in the film room because I got hurt, blew out my left elbow. I had to have surgery on my elbow after we played Simon Kenton one night. And I learned more watching film with him those 6 weeks than I learned my entire life. Spent a lot of time with him, and that's just kind of how I was like, yeah, I'd like to get my degree in coach one day. Went kind of around to get it, but it still happened. So, yeah, that's pretty much how that went down.
Yeah, that's a phenomenal story, man. Just learning, your guys' why, and it's phenomenal. I love it. Now let's get into the stress. You know what I mean? You have to deal with stress. You know what I mean? Last season we talked. You know what I mean? You're like, man, I was down on myself. How do you deal with it? And does your support system help you?
Well, this year was really tough for me. I lost my mom in April, so it was man, that whole aspect of that, and you really don't realize how much you miss her until like certain times, and it'll come and go in waves. So really not being able to grieve with that, to be honest with you, and because I mean you got to go to work. I mean this is a nonstop competition as far as us Bellarmine, Midway and the teams in our league. We're competing. I mean 24/7, 365, and that's off season and in season. We're all here to compete. I'm sure Harold will be here tonight, and we're gonna see if we can't get some guys that want to come up to Calumet, and so it's nonstop. A lot of being on the road. We got home for one day yesterday, and we're back on the road. We were up in Ohio, Southern Indiana, back through, and down back to Kentucky, and we got to get to Florida, Georgia. I mean, we're going all over.
So yeah,
it's a lot.
It's a stress level that's different from high school. You know what I mean? Like when I talk to coach, coaches is like, man, you got to get away from it. You know what I mean? But you guys are in the business, man.
Yeah, I mean it's nonstop. I mean, let me give you a little insight to what it's like to be a college coach. For those of you that are listening, you are recruiting up until kickoff. Literally, you have families on campus, game day visits. Coach does a heck of a job. He's there at 8 in getting set up for all these guys. We give them, the visit on campus. We feed them. We get them in different uniform or the uniforms. They take the pictures, and so I mean it's nonstop until kickoff. When that ball's kicked off, man, I'm in heaven. I'm loving this. This is my this is my serenity. I'm loving this. And but I mean as far as the stress part of it, you gotta learn to sometimes just turn that off, be with the family a little bit, and give yourself a little bit of time. You know what I mean? And I like to read. I like to do different things. I mean. I feel like there's a lot of books out there that can continue to get me better as a leader, and that's my time. A couple hours a night. So
yeah, I love it, man. Now we talked earlier about how you were on a different staff, so your adversity stress level was probably kind of different this year.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was drastically different, man. It started really in January of this past year. I resigned from my position at Grant County on the football staff. I finished out as a teacher through the year. And I accepted a position with Dixie Heights High School, actually, with Patrick Burke. Patrick's a freaking awesome dude, man. If you get a chance to talk to him, you need to. He's an awesome guy. His kids first, winning second. I mean, he believes a lot of the stuff that, we lined up really well. Going to get a teaching position up there. Things were going well. And then Matt Parade and Zach Cooper out at Alderson Brodus, who I've known for a couple of years, they called me up and say, hey, man, how would you like to come out and coach college football full time? I'm going to need a minute. Because, we're talking literally I accepted the position in Dixie in March. And now we're going into the spring game at Dixie Heights. And now they're calling me, something I've wanted to do for quite some time. So my wife and I had a conversation. We thought we did all our homework and weighed everything, and we're like, all right, we're going to go. We're going to do this. So we get out there right after our youngest daughter, Tallulah, was born, and we were on the road 2 weeks later moving to West Virginia. We get out there, met you on the podcast with Ryan, trying to push sprint football up, make awareness for it, grow it. And, we're in our July 31st. I've told him the story. We're down in the offensive office, just joking it up, laughing. I was laughing so hard that day, I was had tears. We're almost, I got to go to the bathroom. We're having such a good time, talking about nothing and everything. We go into our meeting for the season. We were going through our practice schedule and yada, yada. Kids are already reporting. It's all, August 4th, kids are supposed to be on campus. And then I'm sitting across from our defensive coordinator, Zach, and he looks up at me. He looks back down on his phone. He goes, holy crap, we just closed. We found about it on Twitter. And we tried to get a hold of our head coach, tried to get a hold of certain people and couldn't. And then we heard, we tuned in because they put a Zoom link where you can listen to the phone call where they're making the decision to close the institution.
Right.
So that was I don't know what I'm going to do now. So I go home, talk to my wife, and we're like, well, we got to make decisions. We got to make decisions quick. And it wasn't like I didn't have opportunities. I had phone calls from guys that I didn't even knew that I was around, kind of thing. And we got lined up started narrowing it down. And then this guy calls me with John Morick. They give me a shout. hey, man, what are you looking for? I was like, man, I don't know. I have no idea right now, yada, yada, yada. 2 phone calls, and I looked at my wife and said, we're going to Calumet. So we went back home to Kentucky for a day to settle in, and then Aldous and Brodus, I got my paperwork on August 4th that the athletic department was no longer there, and I was in Calumet on campus August 14th.
Wow.
So it's been
Unbelievable.
bang, 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 bang.
Yeah. So let's talk about your staff a little bit, man. You know what I mean? Talk about them. Show some love.
This dude right here, I'm gonna tell you, you're gonna move your whole family up there and take a chance on us, man. And we, that just speaks volumes for him and his character and who he is and how bad he wants this thing. And I want guys like that on my staff that are passionate. You know, he's one of them. Obviously, so I mean, we got guys, man, they're all, it's crazy because believe it or not, we've coached, a lot of the guys we've coached high school a long time together before we took this job on. So that relationship and that same message that we're trying to convey to the kids is you don't have to break those guys in. They know what the deal is and what we're trying to do and accomplish and make them better men, you know. So Ante Dozen, he's our special teams coordinator. He's probably the guy that we most he wants more time, you know, as far as practice, you know. And I'll tell you, man, we are about all 3 phases because they're all important. But so he's funny. We'll go back and forth a little bit. But he does a great job. Our kicker is actually going to go ahead and walk on at University of Central Florida. He's got a preferred walk on. But that's a lot of that, you know, our kicker is pretty good. But he helped, you know, fine-tune him a little bit. But he does a great job for us. Our offensive line coach, Coach Buckner, he does a great job. Been with me for years. Jonathan Buckner's his name. Mel Hay, he's got multiple years of pro experience, along with being a head coach in Europe. He did a heck of a job for us as an offensive coordinator. You know, part of the reason we went 6-3. I mean, we started off 0-3, and we had the best defense in the league, and we had to fix that offense a little bit, and he did a great job, Mel Hay. And obviously, Coach Jennings does the receivers. Coach Roman, he does the running backs. He was a student assistant. He'll actually be. So we started the program 2 years ago, 2 years is year 3. He'll be our first graduate of the program. So he's a student assistant, meaning that, you know, we can assist him with some athletic money. And, he did different jobs for us, including helping with the running backs. So we're pretty excited about him being our first graduate, you know, for the football program. And then on the defensive side, Chris Davenport, him and Sam Daniels, they did a great job of kind of being co-defensive coordinators, like, one would work with the box, and the other guys work with the back half. And again, there's no egos on this staff. That's what separates us from most, because I've been on staffs where guys come in and it's about them and not the kids, and those guys find their way out of this program and out of programs prior to this. Again, like-minded guys, special guys, leader of men, servant leaders. That's what we're about at Calumet.
Yeah, man. Okay, and we're almost done, man. I'm going to get you guys out of here. I know you guys are busy.
I could do this all day. I love it.
Man, you've been through plenty of schools, right? Is there a certain tradition like you brought to Calumet?
You know, so it's funny you say that. So we talked about the 219, the region area.
Yeah.
219 is our area code, okay? And usually I don't like to let this out for my opponents, but we're pretty strong. How we feel about this thing. We wear 219 on our front of our helmet, you know. And, that represents, so we have a lot of steel mills. So basically Inland Steel, which is now Cleveland Cliffs, and BP oil refinery are in town in Whiting. We're this little small town in Whiting. That celebrates everything. There's a parade for everything, including us when we won the thing. It was pretty awesome at the Christmas parade. But anyways, when you're down, there's a lot of shops and a lot of restaurants downtown on 119th Street in Whiting. And you see these guys from the mills that come there to get their lunch in their fire retardant shirts, their hard hats. And they're asking, the guys and me, when they see me with recruits, hey, man, how's it going? How's the program? We're really building that pride. But that 219 stands for those people that move their families all the way up here to provide for their families. And we like to wear it on the front of our helmets because, we want our opponents to see that's the last thing they see before we hit them. So. little bit of pride in that.
Let's go, man. I'm telling you, man. This is the reason why I love doing this podcast is because I want to give you guys a platform to share that, man. I don't think nobody would ever hear that, and that's just amazing. But that goes to, like, you know what I mean, as a man, understanding that you know what I mean, you're in that community. And you're supporting it, and that's what it's about, man.
Hey, it's hometown for me, and whoever comes up, they're going to realize that Calumet is a big family. I mean, it's a very small school. You're going to have 10 to 11 kids in it, to one instructor in each classroom. You know, all the staff except for Zach, really from the region. And he's lived there now a year or so, and he's starting to get there. He's like, man, I could live here for a little while. He loves it, you know, because the region is home. But anyways, we're all there. We're a big family from the president on down. You'll see her walking her dog over at practice. I mean, everybody lives in town. It's a special place, and we take care of each other and those that come up here. Man,
I love it, man, and I appreciate you, Zach, man. Great follow on Twitter. I will actually put your Twitter there. Yeah, man, the champs are here. They came, they showed out, man, and it was phenomenal. And then, like I say, Coach, whenever you're in town, man, you want to just stop on the podcast.
Would love to.
You know, if I can get up there, I would love to come to a game and just hang out, man.
Come on up.
Yeah, I would love it. I would love it, man. But yeah, like I always say, man, everyone has a story. I'm here for them to tell it. Cleats to Whistle podcast.